Hey, what's up, you guys? This is a fun episode where we talk about going out there and recruiting A players. So we've done the shark hunting episodes before, I think all the way back to like episode number 2, but we talked a lot about tactical philosophies in episode number 2. Here, it's really more about the mindset and posture that you need to have in your business, not just to go and recruit A players. I mean, it's the theme that we talk about, but really it's this mentality that you need to have for your entire business. And when you have it, you will win, you will succeed. So Dr. Pietsch was on point today. He's in build mode right now. And if you've ever been around him in build mode, it's just a fun energy to be around. So I know you're going to enjoy this episode. After you listen to it, make sure you get your teams on it, share it wherever you can. We truly appreciate it. All right, let's get started. Hey, what's up? And welcome to the All-In Networker Podcast. This podcast started because myself, Dan McCabe, had a question. The question was, how do you build a big team fast in network marketing? So I asked a good mentor of mine, Dr. David Pietsch, who is a Hall of Famer, 250,000 customers in his downline, tens of thousands of representatives, and he just started spilling the beans, started telling me everything, not just what worked in the past, but what he is doing in the future to really grow and build his business. I said, hey doc, this needs to be a thing. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're going to turn this into a podcast. So here it is, the secret straight from his mouth into your ears. Whatever we can do to help you and the industry grow is what we're here for. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's get started. Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to the All-In Networker Podcast. I am here with my co-host and good friend, Dr. David Pietsch, one of the top network marketers of all. I kind of just want to sit here and toot your horn, but nah.
We'll do it. Why not? Let's go. I got a half hour. Start.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. So, anyways, looks like you guys are getting settled in over there. How's life treating you?
Yeah, rock and roll. It's all good. I'm excited to go fishing today. Let's do some big fishing.
And you don't mean fishing like in a boat with a fishing pole either, do you?
I've only done that one time in my life. That was back when I was like 10 years old, Dan. So no, I do not fish.
This is a fun time. Anybody who's watching this right now, whether you're watching this in our VIP group or you catch it on YouTube later, or you're listening to this, like, it's a fun time because when Doc is dialed in and wants to build and is in build mode, it's just a fun time to be around because the energy's there and it's exciting. Do you feel it inside too? Like when you flip that switch a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you got to have your game face on.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, we talk about belief all the time, and we know that's not necessarily an issue for you. But when you want to build, people around you can feel that. And this goes for anybody, not just you being, a network marketing legend, but, not just you, but for anybody. If you got your belief systems up and you're dialed in and you're ready to go, people feel them. People want to follow that.
Yeah, I mean, I am in the zone right now. There's no doubt about it. And I'm just selling blocks of time. And I believe that, 5 to 10 minutes with me is something that you should give me because I've earned it. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And so when you don't take it, I don't give two rips. I'm just on to the next one because your opinion means nothing, and I'm a pro. I don't get, like when you're going through the numbers, you get so many no's and it just means absolutely nothing to you because you just trust the numbers and the ratios are just going to show up. But when you're selling yourself first, it's a whole lot easier in my opinion.
Yeah. I like to talk to people, but I don't like it when my feelings get hurt. No, I'm just kidding. We can't. You got to get over that pretty darn quick. A lot of people say no. A lot of times people say no. It's not even that they are saying no to you or your thing. They just half-heartedly listen. It's the easy thing for them to do. Like it's not an emotional thing for them either. Like you just can't. You can't let
that's
that.
Child's play. I mean, if you're going to be a professional network marketer, you better get that figured out real quick. That that's just the applesauce of what it is that we do. If you want to be a big time network marketer, you got to get your act together. That's the alphabet soup of that.
Yeah, it's not even worth spending that much time on. I think I like to think that we talk about higher level strategies and higher level things in the All-In Networker podcast than the old school go for no type of strategies and methodologies that are out there. Get 9 no's and you'll get 1 yes. You should celebrate the no's. Like, I don't know. It's old school training. It shouldn't even be something you think about anymore.
That should have been the first 60 seconds of your training when you first started. So if we're not past that, then we have failed you miserably.
Right.
On this podcast.
Yeah. So, well, today, we're kind of kicking around different things to do. I had a really good conversation with some other people that work with us over at All In Networker yesterday. Some people that we're talking to, just about some additional trainings and things like that we're going to be putting out. And we really started talking about me and the marketing team. You weren't on this call, Doc, but we really started talking about the shark hunting training that we did a few months ago, and we did a podcast on it once, but we wanted to resurrect. We wanted to do it again here because it's such a valuable topic that one person can really change your business significantly. Literally just one. Even if you're in a binary, if you get one shark building hard down one side, it'll change your business forever because it'll force you to go to the other side and start building that other side and find somebody else. It'll motivate you. It'll energize you. It'll get you on a whole nother plane, a whole nother level. So we're going to resurrect the shark hunting training, the topic, and talk about that a little more, go a little deeper into that, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, buddy, let's do it.
So, a lot of people know your story, but I like to break it down when we talk about shark hunting as well, because once upon a time, you were that shark. You were the successful chiropractor. You were making money already. You had clinics. You had a practice. For all practical purposes, you were a shark. People were probably, the normal everyday network marketer was intimidated to talk to you. They wouldn't even think about it because, well, that guy will say, no, that guy's already too successful. You already had everything going against you. In fact, you'd already been in a network marketing company that had gone out of business, so you were probably a little tainted on the industry in the first place. So, but somebody pursued you and somebody recruited you. So why don't we go back to that time a little bit? I know we've talked about it before, but let's talk about how you were recruited into your business.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just all those things that you just said were true, but the person that got me was just mocking me because I had to still work for my money, and that's, like he was really, really, really smart because he came in and he had it going on and he was making more money than me and he didn't have to do it every single month.
Right.
I had to grind day in and day out. And it's that mentality that the big boys make $50,000 a month, whether they work or not. That has got to be your jam. If you want to be a big time network marketer and you want to attract people who are already tens and teach them that network marketing is a better way, you have got to have that first and foremost on your mind, that if you're not even making $50,000 a month residually, you haven't done jack squat. Anybody can work for money and make money, but the big boys can build the residuals. So let's see what you got there, hotshot.
Yeah. No, and that's so he came into you, mocked you, offered you something that you really wanted, which most people in your situation, most sharks do want, which is time.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, that's it. Everybody wants time and money. If somebody's telling you that they don't, they're just scared. They're just scared. They're worried about what people are going to think about them. They don't think that they can do it themselves. I mean, give me a break. I mean, every human being given a real choice to have income that comes in residually from efforts in the past, or have to go work day in and day out, have everything be dependent upon you, still got to show up. Everybody would take the residual. Like, I mean, give me a break.
Right. And that's where these sharks shouldn't be as intimidating to go talk to as we build it up in our own heads, because they all have that problem. If they've been successful at their clinic, at their practice, at whatever it is that they're doing, they work their butts off. And they're at a point most likely where they can make more money if they work their butts off a little bit harder. And at some point, like they understand, they've already have built in the skills that it takes to build a network marketing business. They just don't understand it. They only know the one thing. They know what they went to school for, and they think that that's the way it has to be. But at the same time, they're feeling that same burnout. They're missing their kids' baseball games. Like, they're looking for stuff just like anybody else.
I was just talking to a really sharp guy down in North Carolina last couple of days, and played pro baseball for 7 years. And now he's out kind of in the real world, got married, got a 1-year-old daughter, working for his father-in-law's construction company, 60 hours a week. When I'm talking to him, I'm trying to show him what we do. He had to pull his car over on the side of the road. I mean, he's driving home at 7:00 at night. And I'm just sitting here thinking, dude, you want to do this for the rest of your life? I mean, give me a break. I mean, if I was in that situation, knowing what I know now, I mean, I would do whatever it takes. People just don't know. Like, they just don't know that it's really, truly a viable profession that you can get into and you can make it work and you really can have residual income and you really can live a fulfilled life. And so that's got to be your come from, and that enthusiasm and passion. I mean, Dan, you're around me enough. You know when I'm in a good mood, when I'm not in a good mood. You know when I'm dialed in. You know when I'm not dialed in. You know, you better be dialed in. If you're trying to build, you better be dialed in all the time.
Yeah, 100%. And we do know that. And fortunately, I've been around you enough, so I know that. And that's why I started this episode out with, like, this is a good time to be hanging around Dr. Pietsch right now, whether you are on his team or you're listening to this podcast or you're in the VIP group. It's a good time. Like, I don't know. It's like I'm trying to leave people a very, very obvious clue right now, that now is a good time to just pay attention, because things are going to get pretty wild here. I think over the next couple months, it's going to be a lot of fun. I know we talked about it a little bit on last week's episode. Some building that you're doing within your team, and how we're going to document a lot of that within the VIP group for people to see. It's just like, it's a good time to watch. It's a good time to see what's going on. It's a good time to get motivated through that energy and effort. So jumping back to the Sharks here a little bit, I know Dave, who recruited you, he showed up. I mean, aside from just mocking you, I mean, so we figured out what was it, the pain point that successful people have oftentimes is lack of time. So we got that. Now that has a flip side to it, in that a lot of time the successful people, the 10s you're going after, they also have a hard time making time for you to present to them, because, oh no, I'm too busy in my business. I got to see another patient. I need to get this final piece of paperwork out. I got to do the monthly bills or whatever it is that's holding them back or keeping them. So what was it like? I know this story, but what was it like with him? Because there was a certain tenacity. He didn't just show up one day and be like, hey, let me give you a 5-minute presentation.
No, I mean, the guy called me every month for 2 years, but how he really got me, and things that he really said to me was, when I started, this was him talking. What he said is, look, I'm a college football coach, I'm a financial planner, and I own 3 health clubs. I had very limited time. In fact, I only had 2 hours on Tuesday and 1 hour on Thursday. But in those hours, I just showed people, and it started to grow and it started to take off. And so in my mind, I'm going, okay, well, I've got Mondays off and Tuesdays off and Wednesdays off in the evening. I got every night off, actually. So, okay, I could do it at night, and he just painted a picture of, yep, I was a busy, successful person too. But really, this is what I said to the guy down in North Carolina. What I say to everybody, I don't need your time. I need whatever time that you have. You've built a lifetime of your reputation. Start putting people in front of me and let me go to work for you. If you partner with me, I will get you out of the mess that you're in. Is there somebody else coming in after me? You got somebody else at my level coming to help you? I doubt it. I'm giving you a chance. Grab it. And it's that extreme posture. It's like, I feel extremely pitiful for you. I am willing to help you. There is no one else coming. Let me help you. In or out? Yes or no? Like, it's just right for the throat at that moment in time.
Yeah. And well, that's another really good point. And especially within most network marketing businesses that cost sub $100 to get into, going for the throat, quickly, if they can't make a decision for under $100 on whether or not to grab that lifeline that quickly, they're probably not your person anyways.
1,000,000%.
But it's certainly not something where it's like, all right, well, I'll reach back out, and there shouldn't be a massive, how do I want to put this, manual follow-up process.
Well, it's just like I just said to you before we came on here. I mean, I'm so wired in right now. It's like, I know that I can just show an unlimited amount of people every day if I really want to. And there's just ways to do that. And, it's not that I don't ever follow up, but if they don't sign up on the spot, my mind just goes on to the next person.
Yeah.
I might go back and think about a few sharp people here and there and try to do a little follow-up with them. But at the end of the day, I am just absolutely going for it in the moment. And if it's not a yes, then next. And when you have that abundance mindset, because what most people do is they show like one person a week, and when they're thinking about it and they got to show their spouse and they got to do their research, then they just grovel all over that person for the next week. And it's just, you have no mojo, you have no posture, and nobody wants to sign up with you.
Yeah. And I guess the reason I phrased that kind of the way I did, the manual follow-up process, like, you'll follow up a little bit here or there for the right people. You'll shoot another message, you'll make a phone call. But I do believe that, when you're when you're recruiting at that level and you're spending that much time talking to people, if you can't sell them, throwing them into an automated follow-up sequence, you'll pick up the scraps in an automated process.
Sure.
It shouldn't be a manual process. You
Yep.
stick them into an email campaign, you stick them into a chat bot, you stick them into something else. Maybe they raise their hand 2 weeks later when timing's a little better, or they do something that triggers you to redo the manual process or reach back out to them because you get a notification that they watched 25 minutes of your most recent video or something like that.
Yep.
But because, I mean, that kind of brings me to the next point that we talked about on the last training, which I think is of, big value to a lot of sharks and successful people. And it goes to actually what you just said around, you don't need their time. You want whatever time they have, but you want their reputation that they've built over the years and for them to put people in front of you. At the same time, I think, that lack of time for a lot of sharks, that's where having proper systems within your team comes into play, like proper training systems or onboarding process or something. Like what happens once they get started. I know with a lot of what you do over the years, it's like you jump in with people, and if they show you something right away, and that's the way we've done a lot of training, like they got to do something in 24 hours. If they can't do something, why would you give them the next week? If they don't do something the first week, you're not going to give them the next 90 days necessarily. But having those systems in the background, I've found talking to people that the systems in the background for the sharks, for the smart people, they're almost better sales tools than actual tools that they're going to use because they want to see those systems exist.
Yeah, I mean, the minute we can get somebody in, they can see what we really got because we give them a little snippet in a very short amount of time. And if we can get them in, we can just open up this door of this is how it really works. This is how organized we really are. And then they magically just start to have more time to build the business.
Yeah. Well, as soon as they start seeing some of the things work. So, and when I talk about systems, I mean, the really sharp people, the people that you really want to build with and people you want to spend time with, the people that earn your time through the process, you're going to do that. But they're going to be bringing on, their people, their contacts as well. And as they're doing that, you need a home for those people. And they want to know that those systems are in place for those people. I mean, because the sales tool you created through your system, it becomes their sales tool as well. And I wholeheartedly believe that, good network marketing teams these days just have to have that stuff in place, because if you don't, another team does.
Yeah, for sure. And, you're never going to recruit a big leader out of another network marketing company if you don't have it, because they know that it exists.
Right. Yeah, they certainly do. At that point, they've seen a lot of them. So, all right. So let's talk about your team here just a little bit more. Over the years, the last 13 years, over 250,000 people have come through your organization and customers. Now, I know you didn't pick up all of them. Can you think of a couple sharks that you brought on and just the effect that had on your team?
Well, I mean, the first one that I ever brought on changed my life. I mean, what do you say? I mean, 150,000 plus people in my organization. I mean, that has changed the game for me. What do I even say? I'm at a loss for words. I mean,
right.
How would I've ever dreamt I would have made this much money and have this big of an organization? And, I've been chasing that side of the binary for 10 years now.
Right. And I've heard a few stories about when you recruited that particular person, because that was well before me being around, but it sounded like you did exactly what you said here on this podcast, where you just postured up in front of them and told them how it was.
Well, he's out of his own mouth. I mean, he said it in numerous times that he just saw a person that was more confident than himself. He saw a person that knew where he was going, and he saw a person that was building residual income, which was better than what he was doing. And then this person, being me, told him, that the big boys make $50,000 a month. And if we were to do it together, we could do this and do big things. And that's a key component to it, because, like when I'm meeting new people, I am always connecting us in some sort of way that we're sharp people. You and me should stick together, and it's very hard to get out of that bond that I create with people immediately, because I've edified them. I've made them equal with myself or even greater, but I've got a skill set, and you've got the contacts. And if we were team up, man, we would definitely build a championship team.
So, so thinking about that guy here, when you recruited him and you kind of postured up in front of him at that time, were you thinking of him as a shark, or was this
1,000,000%? I knew he was coming. I knew he was coming a month before he came out. You know, I was ready. I was on point. I mean, I was probably drinking 5 energy drinks that day. I mean, we knew he was coming. We were ready for him. He had a seat in the front row of my presentation. You know, when it was done, I took him right back to my office. I was just zeroed in on him.
Yeah.
It was this guy's going to go in tonight, and he didn't want to go in right off the bat. In fact, he left and then eventually came back that same night. And before he went home that night, he put a whole bunch of people in. You know, so it's just like I was ready, I was on point, and I was bound and determined to get him in and show him that this is a better way.
Yeah,
I'm always looking for sharp people. With me, it's easier to do with sharp people because again, I wholeheartedly believe that I don't care what you do to earn money, that network marketing is a better way. I 1,000,000,000% believe that to be true, and so that just comes out of me when I'm talking.
Yeah. No, it's true. And it's something that we need to get across. We need to break down those barriers. People need to understand it. And the sharp people get it when they get it. And I've actually found a lot of sharp people, successful people. They understand that and they believe it and they understand the math, but they just have like just some little brick left of that wall or that hesitation towards network marketing. Maybe it seems too good to be true. Maybe it's like they just haven't seen the success yet. And they're still kind of believing the old way of being successful is still true, but they're not as far away as you would think, because as soon as they get successful, they start learning about leverage. They're kind of right there. Some of them just need that extra little push. Like it sounds like you gave that guy that night.
You just have to be so confident and so certain that these people, when they bring their network, and they'll usually bring sharp people because sharp people hang out with sharp people.
True.
They know that you will not embarrass them. And they know in their heart that they're bringing their friends to somebody who's probably more successful than they are. So that's the connection that they can make in their mind. And then when you play the role of the coach and the mentor, and you literally just help these people, like you take your person that you really want to get and you just pour into that person, they are going to want to go out there and bring as many of their friends into that environment so they can get the same, coaching on how to make money from home, how to build a residual income. I mean, that's easy once they have that belief, that you're not going to embarrass them and that you're a sharp person and that no matter who they brought out here, no matter who they put you on the phone with, you can hold your own.
Right. And, I don't know how far into your business that was when you recruited him, we'll call him the first shark. But there's going to be a lot of people listening to this that have not had success in network marketing yet. They are getting by, they are making some sales, they're still trying to figure it out. And they probably aren't oozing with that confidence that you're referring to. And so it gets easier. I mean, once you're making 50 grand a month, having that confidence is pretty easy. Especially for a sharp person, somebody who's been successful before. But if you're newer and you don't have it yet, you got to get yourself into that place. And, I guess I'll just help out here a little bit and kind of lead you where I'm going. So if you're not there yet and you're trying to figure out like, how can I incorporate this into my business if I haven't been successful yet? It's like a chicken and egg thing. Like what happens? What has to come first? Well, you do got to be successful, but you can still, before you have that success, if you get your belief up to a level that you just know where you're going, then that's your story. And that's what you got to roll with. If you know what you're building together, you still got to have the skills that I think you're talking about there. It doesn't matter if you've had the results yet. I mean, it eventually makes it easier, but in the beginning, you don't have the results.
Look, when I put my first shark in, I'd only been in the business for 60 days.
No,
I wasn't making any money. I don't even know if I got paid a check yet. I have no idea. Certainly wasn't making any amount of money, but it was where I'm going. It's not what I've made, it's where I'm going. And he was drafting off of that because I was certain. And I can tell you that had he not joined my business, it wouldn't have really affected me that much because I would have gone with or without him and I would have found somebody else. See, if he went to join, my binary would just look different. I mean, some of the people that I put on the other side, they just would have come back onto this side because it doesn't really matter to me anyway. I'm maxing out the comp plan, So, I mean, it just would have been configured differently, but it would have still happened. And that's the whole thing. But the point of that is, like, I wasn't making any money, but I was confident. I was certain as to where I was going. And that is what people wanted. They just want to jump on that bandwagon. You're going somewhere and I'm following you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it. And that's, as part of what attracted me to you in the first place. And when we started working together and all that is just, where you've been, what you've done. And it's the same idea. It's that a lot of people have, and getting on a team and getting on a bandwagon like that is so powerful in this industry. And, we work with a lot of different network marketers within All In Networker. It's kind of like an agnostic network marketing training company. So I talk to a lot of different people. And I think one of the biggest hurdles people have is that they get on teams where they don't have that person that's going anywhere. They don't have that leadership. Maybe their corporate, training is phenomenal, but I don't really believe that matters unless you have somebody else that you can draft off of, like you said, that you can work with, that you can follow, that's been there, that's done that is doing it, that is in the trenches every single day, teaching you how the real world network marketing works within your company. And, I'm pretty blunt with people too. And I just tell them, like, if you don't have it, you either got to create it or you got to find it somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it's, when you were recruited by somebody who'd been there and who'd had success, and somebody you had known to be a successful person previously. So that was helpful. Through the years, and even back then, so you were in network marketing when you were in college, right? Prior to opening up your chiropractic practice. And I would imagine after that first company went out of business because it just became obsolete, basically, telecommunications company, right? So it became obsolete. So you're out of that. I would imagine between that company, going to school to be a chiropractor, and your new company, you probably got recruited by a handful of network marketing companies because you were known for being in the industry already and having some success. So what was it that kept you from saying yes, or what were the approaches, or what were the people coming up to you like that where you just like, no? Because you had to have said no a bunch.
Well, many tried to get to me. Like, I honestly can only think of one other time in the 10-year gap when I was in between doing network marketing, where I had one of my employees in my chiropractic office, like, just continued begging me day in and day out because her mother just would not stop hounding her. So I was doing it for my staff just so that, her mom would stop hounding her because she just wanted a half hour of my time. So she comes in, pitches me a nutrition company, and I'm just like, no, and she was just like stunned at the end, and it's like, your 30 minutes is up, get out. And it was just like hardcore, no scram.
Yeah.
And the guy that got me called me every month, passionately. And he always wanted to meet with me and show me. I was like, no, I'm not even gonna look. No. But eventually he just came to me. He flew his airplane to Minneapolis, his own private airplane. He came to my office without an appointment, showed up. And I'm thinking to myself, if this guy is this aggressive, if this guy wants me that bad, that's the kind of guy I want to work with, because he's hungry. I want to work with somebody that's hungry and professional and winning. And he had all those things going on. So once I gave him 5 minutes. And when 5 minutes was up, I just said, on your way out, grab a credit card from one of my front desk girls over there and to sign me up into your deal. I had no intention of doing it, but I could get him to stop calling me. But again, once that happened, it was the follow-up. It was the, family members that he had that were following up with me. And, it was just like, hey man, these people are professional. These people are not fooling around. And I started thinking, why am I being so cold towards these people? Why would I not just put my guard down and let's see what happens if I actually just do what they actually ask me to do? And then once that happened, things took off. Like, I can't even tell you, just rocket ship in my business.
Yeah. Didn't he have a family member become a patient?
Yeah. He brought his daughter with him. When he flew his airplane up there, walked to my clinic, he brought his daughters, who was going to just secretly become my patient the next week and come in 3 times a week. And every time she's coming in, she's pitching the network marketing deal that I'm already signed up in. It's not doing anything.
Yeah, it's just keeping that communication open, just serving until.
And the moral of that story is, if there's somebody that you really want, just go get them. Just stay on them, because eventually you will wear them down. And then what really changed the game was they got me to an event. You got to be a good promoter of the events. That's the game. That's what we do. You got to get people to other people that are better than you, and so they can see a bigger vision of what your company is.
Right.
They were smart. They played me perfectly as I look back at it.
Well, they did. And along that journey for them, they took a lot of no's. you rejected them quite often, stuff that make regular people just quit. I mean, no better way to put it. It's like, I get that first no, I'm done. I don't want to keep pursuing, but they kept after you. And if you were to look back, or if they were to look back at that journey of recruiting you, between phone calls to you, flying an airplane to see you, the amount of time they thought about it and strategized about it, they maybe had, call it 20 to 40 hours into recruiting you, maybe, like
that would be a massive stretch, but okay.
Yeah, well, we'll just go with me here. Say they had 40 hours into it, but they eventually land you, and then you land the other guy for 150,000 people. And what happened to their business? Was it worth it for them?
Well, yes, it was.
Yeah. So, I mean, 40 hours made them, who knows, a lot of money. So I won't speculate, but it made them a lot of money, a lot more than most people make in their 40-hour work week, I'm sure.
Indeed.
With probably realistically a lot less pain, even though being told no over and over again, like your construction buddy that you recruited the other day, or you brought into the business with you, putting in 60 hours a week, was calling a shark and getting told no a whole bunch of times for a lot more money worth it? Probably.
Indeed.
So, all right. Well, whoever's listening to this, I think we drove that point home rather well. So, just to hit on a few of the high level bullet points from the last time we did this training, it's before we wrap up here. I mean, there's a few things. I think you hit on one there really well. The tenacity when you're going after the shark is key. You got to stay after him. It's typically, we've kind of contradicted it a little bit here. Like, you don't have a huge follow-up process for the regular everyday people, manual follow-up process. It's, hey, are you with me or you're not? But for certain people,
those are old contacts I'm talking about there too. Let's make the difference. These are,
sure.
I was talking specifically about people that I do not know in that environment. When there's people that you know in your life that are tens, I would move heaven and earth to get in front of them.
Yeah. So the tenacity and the follow-up there, then, so we'll just kind of correct that statement, is key, in that you continue to follow up. Belief is paramount. Without it, you're screwed. And then systems. It's you need to have the right systems in place, and they need to see that you have systems, not just for them to jump into and see, but also so they know that people that they sign up, the people that they bring to you, have something they can plug into that they can succeed with. They probably in the beginning care more about their reputation than they care about the money they're going to make. They like the money, but if they're going to start bringing people to you, they want to know that they're bringing people to somebody that they can believe in.
1,000,000%.
So, all right. Was there anything there that we missed regarding shark hunting that we want to make sure that we get on here? I feel like we got
the sharks don't sign up with guppies, so make yourself a shark.
Yeah. And really, if you're in a situation where you're feeling like a guppy, maybe you are a guppy, and we need to get you through that phase as fast as possible. It's finding the leadership within your team that you can follow and make sure you're confident bring people to, or you need to start creating it for yourself. But you need the systems, and the systems will help you get the belief, and you need to know where you're going. Meditate, figure it out, do something.
Get to the trainings, get to your company events, so you learn how to be a professional network marketer. And once you've got that down, own it and preach it to the world with passion, and people will follow you.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines. You've heard me say it a million times. I stole it from a Ed Milet podcast, but you gotta get your belief and your vision so big that the people you're talking to can see it, feel it, and they can see themselves inside of your vision. Their dreams fit inside of your vision, whatever their dreams are. Yep. And that's what you need to, like you said, preach to the world. Tell everybody with passion. And when you have that conviction, they're just going to sign up. So, all right. I love this topic. This topic's fun.
It's profitable.
Yeah, this topic's fun. It's it's motivating. I know some people watching this or seeing this, hearing this, are motivated right now to go do something different in their business. I think it's also motivating, for us and what we're doing in our business. So it's a fun thing to talk about. All right. Well, I think this is a good place to wrap it up, unless you got anything else you want to touch on.
No, let's get out there and make it happen.
All right, absolutely, 100%. So, all right, well, appreciate you guys. Anybody who watched this in the All In Network or VIP Mastermind group, we appreciate you. If you're not in that group, you want to learn more, we'll make sure there's a link in the show notes. You can certainly check it out and see what it takes to become a part of that. Aside from that, you can always check out anything we have at allinnetworker.com and find us on the social medias. Please rate, subscribe to this podcast. If you got some value, if you got some people on your team that you think need to go shark hunting or they know some really sharp people, make sure you share this episode. So appreciate you guys as always. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Hey, thanks for listening to the All In Networker podcast. Dr. David Pietsch and I greatly appreciate it. If you receive some value or you know somebody that would receive some value, please share this episode with them. We want to pick up the entire industry, help serve the entire industry of network marketing. We believe that when other network marketers win, we all win. So on top of that, if you'd like to check out some of our free trainings, you can go to allinnetworker.com. Otherwise, please just rate, subscribe to this episode, this podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, thanks a lot.